welcome to Diversity in Cinema Academy. I'm Theta Catalan, and this is the place to be if you're an indie filmmaker, video creator, and screenwriter. So all this month, I am dropping 24 filmmaking tips till Christmas. While I'll be doing that, I'm going to be decorating this Christmas tree and decorating the rest of my townhome and the outside to prepare for Christmas. How many of y'all like decorating? This year, I don't know. I'm in the mood for it, then I'm not in the mood for it, meaning the decorating part. I love the beauty of it. It gets me in the spirit, but I got to come up with that whole creative vision, right? And so that's what we're going to be discussing today is the director's vision for the screenplay. So now you have came up with an idea, you chose a contained film because that's what your budget can handle, and then you have outlined it and you wrote the script. So now if you're the producer, then you will hire a director and they will help bring that vision to life. And if you are the writer director, now you can bring that vision to life, because it's one thing to have it on page in the screenplay, which is your blueprint, but now how are you going to actually bring it to life so people can actually see it on screen? And how are you going to convey that message to your production designer, cinematographer, the wardrobe department, the makeup department, just, everybody, how can you get that vision out to the team? And so this is now when you break down that script and bring a visual. So the director is going to know that screenplay inside and out. They're going to know the theme of the story, because you're just not writing, a story and it doesn't have some kind of meaning behind it, especially Christmas. There's going to be a meaning about behind, the story. So you just need to think about that and really have a deep understanding. And let me tell you something. If you don't understand theme, I want you to check out this video here, or is it right here, that I talk all about themes in that video, and I give you some other techniques on how to write a compelling story. Because I promise you, when you submit to labs and fellowships and contests or whatever, one of the questions they ask you is, what is the theme of your story? So that is something for you to think about. Then after you determine what your theme is, you need to develop the history of the main characters, because people need to understand who these characters are. They need to have some kind of flaws. They need something to overcome. And this is what you do when you're developing the history of those characters, so people can have a real connection with them. So I mentioned in the last video that one of my favorite books is Writing Screenplays That Sell. And that book really gives a great description of how to create characters, how to do a breakdown of your characters. Because once you start writing, it really gives you a outline of who they are, and it makes it easier to stay in their voice. So after you created the history of those characters, the next thing that you're going to do is break down scene by scene everything that's going on in there. You really want to have a good breakdown of the type of props, because you may have a certain type of prop, like a certain gun. I don't know all the different names of guns, but if they just say gun, that's it. They don't say what type of gun. Then you might say, well, I want it to be a revolver. You know what I mean? Or you may want it to be a Glock, or you may want it to be an M16, or whatever. So those are the things that when you're looking at the script and you're breaking down the scene and seeing what type of characters they are, like if they're gothic or something like that, then you want to see what type of hair they would have and what type of makeup. So when you're talking to the hair department, the makeup department, and first it would be the production designer, and you're coming up with these looks for these characters, the scenes, the world that they're going to be in. Like, are they living in a trailer park, or they're living in, and it could be different type of trailer parks. Is it trailer parks that the trailers are like old and from the 70s and barely surviving, or is it, you know, a new trailer park with the more, you know, built-ins and almost look like houses or whatever like that. So those are the things, because if they just put trailer, you know what I mean, like they live in a trailer park, you as the director, you are figuring out, once you created that history for those characters, you're trying to figure out, you know, like what type of character, where they live at, you know. So if it's not the trailer park, are they living in a working class neighborhood, or do they live in a middle class, upper middle class, are they living in mansions and all that kind of stuff? So you would have to decide that, especially like I said, if they left it generic, and I suggest you as a writer don't leave it generic like that, but that is up to you to figure that out. So the next thing you need to do is study the locations in the set. The location is really, honestly, a whole nother character that tells the story. So like I said, if I bring up the trailer park again, if they live in a 1970s rundown trailer park, will they have something that what we call as a Charlie Brown Christmas tree, where it doesn't fill out as much as maybe a Christmas tree like that. It's really small and short, and it just have like a few different little ornaments on it. Let me see, you know, maybe this is all they have, a Christmas tree like this. This is all they can afford, and this is the only thing that you would see in there in that location for Christmas. So those are some of the things that tells the story and helps the viewer understand exactly who that character is. And that is something for you to really think about as you're breaking down the script. And so one of the other things that the director is doing when they are, you know, breaking down the script, they are also determining what type of shots do they see. You know, do they see a close-up? Do they see a medium shot? Do they see a pan? Excuse me, a pan or a tilt? That can be up or down. The pan could go either way. Do they see drone shots? Do they see a shot where they would need a jib? You know, so those are the different things that they are coming up with during this time of creating their vision, so they can be able to share their thoughts with, you know, those different department heads. So this is something you cannot sleep on. And all of this happens in development. People try to do this in pre-production, and they run around trying to make all of this happen at one time. And the reason why this happens in development is because once the director creates their vision and once the writer has finished the script, this is all handed over to the line producer. And so the line producer also discusses with the director their vision. And so once they have an idea of all the shots that they want to do and the type of elaborate set design that they need or whatever, then now they can start creating a shooting schedule and a budget. And most importantly, a lot of this impacts the budget. You know, they might be saying,
yeah, I want drone shots, and I need a jib, and I need a crane, and I need a Russian arm,
and all this kind of stuff. And you'd be like,
dog, we only got $100,000 to make this film, so you need to pick and choose which one of those you really want and which scene, because we ain't gonna be able to do all of what you ask.
So that is why it is important to do the director's vision in the development phase. All right, so that's it for this video. The next video is going to be all about the production design and what exactly the production designer do. So tune in tomorrow, because that has a huge impact, like I said, on the budget, on the locations, on the set, all that kind of stuff. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey, thanks for tuning in to my 24 filmmaking tips till Christmas. If you are enjoying this series, be sure to visit Diversity and Cinema Academy's website, where they have a ton of resources there. If you're interested in leveling up your film business, you can check out my online course,